Hey, my friends, are you struggling with loneliness? Let's be real. Today, it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and the Surgeon General of the United States of America put out this paper. I'm gonna show you this paper in a minute. That says that almost everyone is dealing with loneliness. Not one in two Americans on any given day are reporting levels of loneliness that are absolutely alarming. So I want you to just kind of just right now, just ask yourself, am I dealing? Am I struggling with loneliness? Oh, by the way, my name is Dr. Alduan Tartt, Christian psychologist, faith-based psychologist, and we're going to dive in today about addressing loneliness. Right? This is something that I see in my practice all the time, right? And when I'm talking about loneliness, I'm talking about you can be in relationship and be lonely, right? Like there's four categories: unhappily single, happily single, unhappily married, and happily married. We want to be in the box that starts with happily, right? Like you don't want to be unhappy in either one of those situations. So the reason that the Surgeon General put this out, and the reason that he is asking us to make a concerted effort to get people into functional, healthy relationships. I'm not talking about just romantic. I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about community. I'm talking about corporate culture, nonprofit culture. I mean, he was very extensive about what he needs. For those of you who are looking for dating advice, go to ringformula.com. My wife and I do dating coaching for women who are serious about uh, being happy and dating quality dates and going towards marriage. Check that out. But let me show you this. Let me show you this report. All right, and we'll dive into it. I don't know if you can read that, but I'm gonna go over the statistics that are alarming. All right, living in isolation reduces. Hold on, I'm gonna give you a different look. There we go. Yeah, living in isolation reduces our chances of survival in social isolation, increases the risk of premature mortality by 29%. 29%, y'all. 29%. That means your chances of dying are almost 30% if you are experiencing loneliness. Poor social relationships, social isolation, and loneliness can increase your risk of heart disease by 29% and risk of stroke 32%, y'all. That's third. That's a third. That's a third. Anyway, y'all get it. I know y'all should be scared. Y'all should be scared looking at this. But I love y'all. And I'm gonna tell y'all what you should do about it. All right. So smaller social network size associated with increased risk of type 2 diabetes and other diabetic complications, including heart attack and kidney disease. Among older adults, right? Chronic isolation and loneliness increase developing dementia by 50%. And anyone that works in senior living care facilities, they know that. Getting your family in one where they're lively, they're doing activities, they have a roommate, they're talking, they're rearranging the furniture, they're rearranging the things on their desk when they wake up to get reoriented so their brain can stay fresh. And if you've ever read the book Ikigai, I'm gonna talk about this just for a second. If you've ever read the book Ikigai, Gao. I'm gonna look that up. I think it's called Ikigai. I've read it, but I don't know if it's spelled. But they basically study communities where people live the longest, right? And what they found is that they have strongest Ikigai. 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 All right. It's a Japanese secret to long life and health. All right. So basically, what they're talking about is having their older adults around family on a regular basis so they can keep their faculties and live longer. Being more socially connected can improve stress responses and minimize negative effects of stress. So you can do better with your stress by being connected. People with strong perceptions of community belongingness are 2.6 times more likely to report good or excellent health than people with a low sense of belonging. Like we're just keeping it real. Children and adolescents who have positive relationships with their peers, parents, and teachers experience better grades. Social isolation can increase inflammation in the body to the same degree as physical inactivity and even the perception of isolation. So you can be in a work environment, they don't talk to you. You can be in a school environment, you feel like everyone's being friends but you. Adults who report feeling lonely are more likely, twice as likely to develop depression. Hypertension is improved when social support is there. community. Y'all get it. You know, you can actually get sicker, right? Not having social support. So y'all get it, y'all. So we have to do something about this loneliness piece, right? We have to do something. So I said, all right, you got us, Alduan. You got us. You got us. What do we do about it? All right, let's talk about flourishing really quickly. I'm gonna give you this, y'all. What do we do? How do you flourish? So they did this research on people who are flourishing. These are the world's happiest people. They happy, y'all. They're like, man, they're not like, no, you ask them on a scale of 1 to 10 how happy they are. These are the 9 and 10s on an ongoing, consistent basis. They have 5 things. I know that's 10. But they have 5 things, family. 5 things that are driving them to feel as if they are flourishing. And I need you to do this as a way to combat loneliness. So we talk about happiness, right? So one, they have positive emotions, right? That kind of makes sense, right? So they're happy people. Why are they happy? Because they are connected to other people. They have relationships. They are not asocial. They do not say, I hate people, can't trust people, can't trust people as far as you can see them. I don't really get people. People don't get me. And that's cool. It's cool for you to be an introvert and have a small groups of people, but it's not okay for you to have no people. This is a red flag, especially for teenagers. If they have no solid friends who they hang with off of this god awful device, right? They need to be face to face. And that's in the Surgeon General's report. He talks about kids are just woefully depressed. That's why we see elevated suicide rates, elevated depression and anxiety, and unhappiness and languishing in our kids because they're not hanging with kids. They're not. And they're like, kids are suffering. This, I know every parent is like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. And so are we. Coming out of the pandemic and not connecting and doing everything virtually, and you're not having dinner, you're not going to church and worshiping face to face is not the same. Bedside Baptist is not the same. I get it's convenient, but you need to be around other people. You need to be in Bible study. You need to be serving the community. You need to be in small groups. You need to be hanging. You need to have these dinners. And I'm in Atlanta. You need to be brunching, right? You need to be doing some things. You need to be fishing with the fellas, doing something, all right? So positive emotions, make sure that you're happy. Optimists make better everything, better lovers, better businessmen and women, better leaders, all right? Have better health outcomes. Number 2, engagement. Here we go. That's what I want to see. You have to be engaged in something bigger than yourself. You have to be locked into the process, you know? I see a lot of high-end athletes, and they're engaged in the playoffs at the time that I'm recording this video. They're locked in. They're looking at videotape. They're looking at film. They're talking to coaches. They're working on their game. They're figuring out what they need to do to be able to win and contribute at a high level, right? So they're engaged and they're loving it. When we're engaged in something that we love, we're just happier versus going to work and we just making the donuts. All right, you're just playing sports just to play sports. You don't love it. Your parents making you do it, or you don't know how else you're going to make $9.5 million. You don't like it. It's better to be engaged and loving what you do. It's going to make you happier. Number 3, positive relationships. They did a Harvard study and they looked at men longitudinally, I think from 17 all the way up until they died. And they found that when men were happiest, they had the highest level of positive relationships. This is not just romantic. They're talking about friends, talking about buddies, work buddies, hobby buddies, right? So we need positive relationships, right, to be able to live a long life. And that's what the Ikigai guidebook was talking about, right? Meaning, what we do needs to give us a sense of meaning. Are you educating second grade boys to get up to grade level? Are you teaching the next generation of scholars? Are you preaching a generation of Americans who've lost their faith? What are you doing? What are you doing that's giving you a sense of meaning when you come home, not only at work, but also in your life? We need that. And then number 5, I'm definitely speaking to my brothers out here. We need to have positive accomplishments. We need to be achieving what it is that we have on that goal sheet. We need to have goals. We need to have focus, and we need to be accomplishing them, to feel good about ourselves. I know for me, people are like, oh, you've done so much, but I feel like I haven't because I have the next goal in front of me and I need to achieve it to feel good, right? So I hope this helps. So I hope that if you're dealing or if you're struggling with loneliness and you're looking for dating advice, there it is right there. Shameless plugs. I want to help you. I want to help you. First of all, be happy and then get married. But also, You can go to my website, right, where I have resources. But I want to make sure that you're good either way and that you are happy, you're whole, you're connected, you're not lonely, and you're connected. We thrive in community and we die in isolation. Take care, my friends. God bless, and let's connect.